Hello and welcome to another SkaredCast tactical video. Today is the first installment of the Craftworld Eldar tactical series, and we will be looking today at the first selection of the... Wait a minute. That's not for this video, it's for a different video. A little bit of a spoiler there, I wonder what that is. We're really looking at the Autarch and his role and use within the Craftworld army. Let's begin. Hello and welcome to another SkaredCast tactical video. Welcome, it's been a while since we've done any of these. I'm very excited to get started with the brand new Craftworld Eldar book. So make sure you check out the review that I did on the book, going through like the pictures and stuff like that. Now this will be a full tactical series, sort of like the Dark Eldar series I did back when the Dark Eldar book was released. And this video series, each video, will be divided into two parts. The first part will talk about each individual section and their use and their role in general, tactically, and the second one will focus more about their role within an allied detachment, with a focus to Dark Eldar for all you Kabbalite warriors out there, or Coven, or Witch Cult warriors. Today we start with the Autarch. So let's begin. Autarchs have a consummate understanding of the way of the warrior, and the future of the race has been shaped by their excellence in the arts of death. They follow the path of command, gaining a wider appreciation of battle than any other and directing the war host on the most efficient path to victory. Theirs is a burning obsession to see war itself conquered and made subservient to their will. Under their hawk-like gaze, each war host plays its part in a complex battle plan, and in turn has a role in the grand war that spans the stars. When a Craftworld army is led by an Autarch, it functions in perfect concert. Our aerial strikes cut off the enemy commander's supply lines. Aspect hosts strike at the heart of his army. And Windrider hosts enact sweeping flanking maneuvers. An Autarch will spearhead critical assaults himself. Gifted ritual weapons by the shrines to which he once belonged, he swoops in to cut down enemy leaders with his sword and cripple their war engines with blasts of deadly energy. So that is the Autarch. He's your run-of-the-mill general for the Craftworld Eldar. I was going to say Dark Eldar. Didn't say where my mind's at. He's 70 points, so he's very, very inexpensive for what you get. He's ballistic skill 6, weapon skill 6, strength and toughness 3, unless he's on a jet bike when he's toughness 4. He's 3 wounded, initiative 6, so he's high initiative, 3 attacks, good leadership of 10, and a 3+ armor save. He is a character in infantry, and he's an independent character as well. Now, where the Autarch shines is the plethora of war gear that he is able to take, and that means that he's your toolkit character. And unlike the Archon, he seems to be better equipped for certain battlefield roles, because you can mix and match and choose and give him a jet bike. Please bring the jet bikes back for my Archons. He has a 3+ armor save, a shuriken pistol. He does have haywire grenades built into his cost. He has plasma grenades built into the cost as well. You can give him an Eldar jet bike for an additional 15 points. And he has a force shield, which is a 4+ invulnerable save. He does have the ancient doom rule, which means that they take extra fear tests and hate Slanesh demons. He has battle focus, so he can run and then shoot, or shoot and then run. He does have fleet as well, but only if he's on foot, and he is an independent character. His special rule is the Path of Command. So if your army contains one or more Autarchs, you may modify your reserve rolls by +1 or -1, and you can choose separately after each reserve roll is made. If you get an Autarch, you will be milking that rule to the best of your ability. Now the cool thing is you can really mix and match an Autarch's war gear. So he can take a warp jump generator, which is what the warp spiders have, meaning that he can do warp jumps, which is kind of cool. Gains the jetpack unit type. And in the movement phase, a unit composed entirely of models with warp jump generators can move 2d6 plus 6 inches. They ignore terrain and models. They ignore dangerous terrain. And if you roll a double one, a model dies. And that's it. So it's kind of cool, making him relentless, being a jetpack infantry, that sort of thing, if you're giving him a heavy weapon. You can give him swooping hawk wings, which makes him a jump infantry, and you can move 18 inches, which is pretty cool, instead of 12. And you can sky leap, so you can remove the unit and then go into ongoing reserves. So that's pretty cool. Just keep your Autarch alive and off the board. That's actually kind of neat. Safeguarding Warlord. You can give him a Banshee Mask or Mandy Blasters. A Banshee Mask is phenomenal. The Banshee Mask disallows Overwatch into the unit that has a model, just one model with a Banshee Mask. So you can put the Autarch, put him into a unit, give him a Banshee Mask, especially a salty unit, charge into a bunch of Tau, charge into a bunch of Dark Angels that have really good Overwatch, and they won't be able to Overwatch at all. And so your little fragile unit will get in unscathed as long as you get them there well. And that alone is worth it's 5 points. Like it's brilliant. It's amazing. The Mandy Blasters are the ones that the Striking Scorpions have, the Striking Scorpion ones, which is just an initiative 10 extra wound sort of thing, which is kind of cool. It's like an extra attack, but I like the Banshee Mask better. You can give him a fusion pistol. I've never seen anybody do that. You can give him a Scorpion Chainsword, a Shuriken Catapult or Last Blaster, a Death Spinner or Fusion Gun. If you make him relentless with a Fusion Gun, a Laser Lance, Power Weapon, a Reaper Launcher. So if you want to give him a Reaper Launcher, you can give him the Jet Bike to make him relentless, or the Warp Jump Generator, and then he can jump around and shoot a nice big gun. And of course, he can take relics, war gear, things from the relic list. So the Autarch itself, very, very useful model, very cheap. I have had quite a bit of experience using an Autarch, and I usually run them on a jet bike with a Banshee Mask and the Power Lance. It's very cheap. It's like a 100-point character, very fast, resilient, toolkit. +1, -1 on reserves is really why you would use the character itself. When you're playing with an Eldar, like a Craftworld main focus, you're looking at using the character to bring on your reserves when you need them, how you need them. So your outflanking Warwalkers, your Flyers, your Crimson Hunters, deep striking Swooping Hawks, deep striking Warp Spiders. You want your entire force to hit at a cohesive time. And having that +1 or -1 means you can take -1 away when you have your little tiny Eldar jet bike units off the board and you don't want them to come on. Or you can add +1 if you really, really need that unit to come in, which effectively means they come in on a 2+ when you're rolling 4 reserves. So use the the Autarch effectively. He's not a tank character. Yes, he can have a power weapon, power lance. He has a 3+ armor save and a 4+ invulnerable save. But don't get carried away. He is only a toughness 3 character, toughness 4 in a jet bike, which is why I like the jet bike, because it makes him a lot tougher against instant death, especially with strength 6 and 7 weapons. But you really use him to that role. The biggest thing, now we're moving into the second part. I love using Autarchs as an ally for my Dark Eldar. And biggest reason being they are battle brothers, so they can join units, benefit from their special rules, etc., etc. The way that I've really liked using him recently is with a Banshee mask and putting him on foot with a unit of Incubi or on a bike in a unit of Reaver jet bikes, because you can get into combat and deny Overwatch. And this really helps things like Reaver jet bikes, because especially if you are charging a unit with a lot of flamers, you can just deny the flamers the ability to do a lot of damage to the Incubi or the bikers before they get into combat. I haven't really used them with witches or banshees or anything of that sort, but giving him swooping hawk wings and then maybe running him with some scourge or helions, or just go get creative, and really putting him in there to be a utilitarian character. Now, when running for using the Autarch as a tactical upgrade, and I mean tactical upgrade because he's expensive. He's like 100 to 150 points depending on gear. I like to take the Remnants of Glory. Now, one of my favorite Remnants of Glory is, of course, the Shard of Inaris. Now, the reason I love this piece of gear is because the bearer of the weapon gains Fearless, and it does gain Fleshbane and instant death in a challenge. So, an Autarch on a bike with the Shard of Inaris, a Banshee mask, and maybe a power lance, depending on whether or not you think it's needed. The Shard of Inaris is rending, and it's really good. It's an awesome weapon, especially when you're challenging out characters and you instant death, demon princes or things like that. That Banshee mask is fantastic. That's what makes that guy so good. And as an ally, you make that model fearless, put him into a unit of, say, Incubi or Grotesques or Reaver jet bikes, as a Dark Eldar ally, or in terms of not Dark Eldar, put him into Wraith Blades or Wraith Guard or Banshees or Striking Scorpions, and all of a sudden they're fearless, they're not going to run away, they can't get overwatched, and you have a character that, in the off chance, is Fleshbane and instant death. You could be doing some work to some character gargantuans, if there's character gargantuans, which would be kind of cool, because you never know exactly, what's going to happen. And honestly, it's one of the coolest things that you can do, is just use him to that advantage. One of the coolest things that I love the Autarch for is the reserve manipulation. For the longest time I've run a Dark Eldar list with a Scalpel Squadron, the Deep Strikes turn 1, and then you can keep everything else in reserve. And having an Autarch in an army like that means that you can decide exactly, with almost precise rolling, what you want to come in on your second turn in terms of reserves, and you can plan the waves of reserves as they come in. Especially when you combine that ability with Labyrinthine Cunning, and you can re-roll reserve rolls and add +1 or -1, which I've used to great effect. And when you get that combo, a null deployment Dark Eldar / Craftworld list can throw a lot of people off their game. When you don't deploy anything, first turn you deploy a little unit of Venoms, and they just kind of hide or try and get pot shots for first blood or something like that. And then they take their second turn and hopefully don't kill anything of yours. And then your second turn, you just bring whatever you want on, +1, -1 reserves, re-rolling reserve rolls, overwhelm your opponent, and break their back on turn 2 and turn 3, where you've just hit them so hard and exactly where you need to hit them that they just can't come back from it. And that's the sort of tactical use you get out of an Autarch. You know, if you've used an Autarch or you have a cool war gear combination for the Autarch that you've used, share it with everybody down below. Let's start a discussion. And of course, stay tuned throughout this series where we go through every single one of the different Eldar units and talk about them and get more of a tactical understanding for the use and role of everything within the Craftworld book. Well, thanks a lot for watching. This is Skari, your grateful host. Sub, like, share, show everybody that you care. I really appreciate it. And let me know what you think. This is Skari, out.